Hi everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 13, Episode 8, Esopha-gate. Okay, that's pretty funny. Look, I'm not thrilled that we're still going to be talking about Sutton's esophagus, but I do think the title was clever. So we open Episode 8 with another awkward conversation between Kyle and Mauricio. Ugh. We get it. There's troubles in your marriage. Why do I feel like someone is trying to convince us of this? Like, in other words, give me some concrete reasons why this marriage of 20 plus years is ending. Other than we're both really busy, our schedules are conflicting, and, Kyle's getting too many tattoos. I mean, tell me something that would make sense, because this is not. These weird little awkward conversations that are meant to show us that, ooh, there's tension between these two. Of course, I know that in real time, they're getting a divorce. So something's up. It's just that rather than show us these tense conversations with each other where Mauricio acts like he really wants to see that tattoo on her hip all the time. No, you don't. First of all, you're never around. Secondly, I feel like that was all put on for us. So either tell us really what's going on. Are you cheating on her? Is she cheating on you? Like, tell us. Or skip these scenes where we have to sit through painful conversations between you two. This one here is Kyle telling Mauricio how her dinner party went. And I'm just not convinced he cares at this point. I don't know. Just stop going through the motions. Tell us what's going on or move on. I'm kind of over this. Anyway, Mauricio asks about the dinner, and then we, of course, get the highlight reel, which I'm always happy to see again. Although they did skip the best part, which was Denise Richards. I guess because Kyle doesn't care about that part. The part she cares about is that Sutton is implying that something's wrong with her marriage and that Mauricio gave her a piece of jewelry because he cheated on her. Kyle tells him everyone at the table thinks something's going on. Side note, I love how Kyle has had to strategically place her Birkin bag so that it is in the camera shot in the background. Like, are we to believe that she just casually set it down in the middle of a chessboard? I hope nobody was playing at the time. Is she using her Birkin bag in place of a lost bishop or something? So anyway, she tells this, what Sutton said, and Mauricio goes, whoa, I mean, clearly you told her to f*** off. And Kyle goes, no. And Mauricio's like, why wouldn't you? I mean, that's mean, and it's just creating more problems and more rumors. Yeah. Is it hitting too close to home, Mauricio, or what? What's going on? Okay, next we are at Sutton's store, Sutton, and she is planning an anniversary party for the store because she's been in business 4 years and still going strong, so she would like to celebrate that. In her confessional, she says, when I started this business, no one thought I could do it. But it is successful, and I did it all on my own. And I love that I didn't use anyone else's money to do it. That feels really good. And then the producer said, to start your business and keep it running, did you use any of your spousal support money? Sutton, of course, yeah. All on her own. So now Sutton is FaceTiming with Crystal. They're talking about the party. And Crystal asks if she still wants Kyle to come to the party. And Sutton said, well, if we're not going to fight, yes. Then she talks about how reckless the drinking comments are to her professionally, to her personally. This could be something that could possibly affect her custodial arrangement. I mean, listen, she's not wrong about that. I suppose if her ex-husband wanted to be a real jerk about it, and he is moving to London, and he originally said he wanted to take their son, James, and she would have to come too if she wanted to be near him, he could fight her for custody. I don't know. I mean, the other thing is James is 16, right? I just feel like in a couple of years, he's probably going to be off to college or wherever on his own. And it's not going to matter that much then. I don't know. I understand it being a concern for her. I mean, I just wouldn't want the ballerinas to think I was an alcoholic. And then Crystal said, well, it was like Dorit was talking about it too. And I think we get a flashback here, although I can't remember. We do at some point of the time at Kyle's house when Dorit did the whole thing about, I wouldn't be surprised if she was having a little whiskey in her coffee in the morning, or whatever that comment was. Okay, this next scene is at Kyle's house, and her therapist is coming to her home to have a session with her. She talks about her sisters a little bit and her relationship with Kathy, or lack thereof relationship. She's not speaking with Kathy right now. And Kyle again talks about what a horrible year it's been for her. What I didn't know before that she mentions now is that, so this thing with Kathy happened in like February, where they stopped talking. And then May 1st, her very best friend since like second grade committed suicide. Of course, this is just tragic and very upsetting to Kyle. Kyle said that she was in her will. She was going to be like in charge of her children and her money and everything. So that's how close they were. And Kyle is shocked and she's frustrated and very upset. She doesn't know what happened. She said she's always like had it together. I do know that it does seem like the people left behind tend to unfairly blame themselves for not seeing certain signs. And, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Anyway, she was saying with, like February kind of losing her sister Kathy from her life, and then May, this thing with Lorene, and then she said, normally I would turn to my marriage to get comfort when these things were happening to me, but now my marriage being on shaky ground, I just have felt like I don't know where to turn, and it's been a lot. So anyway, I guess with all that, I don't know if she was implying that because of all these things, that made her kind of make these changes in her life. Listen, I would think with all that happening, especially losing her best friend, that could have made her very easily turn to alcohol to kind of numb the pain. That would be very understandable. But instead, she kind of went the opposite direction, and she just became kind of hyper-focused on her health. And that's when the working out and the eating better and the not drinking at all came in. And she was talking about how that seems to be like difficult for her friends to accept, that kind of thing. So her therapist was just saying, look, you are growing and changing, and sometimes people need to let go of relationships that aren't serving you anymore. You're going to ruffle some feathers, but like, so what? You're doing this for you. So I think he was kind of referring to Kathy, but maybe some of her friends, I don't know. Next, we have a little scene where Garcelle is out to dinner with Jade and his girlfriend, Ashlyn. Yeah, Ashlyn seems like she's trying to impress Garcelle a little bit, but Garcelle likes her. She just, again, talked about how different Jax is from Jade. Jade is like your typical 15-year-old who cares about 15-year-old boy stuff. And Jax is a little bit deeper, a little bit of a deeper thinker than that. So then we check in with Anne-Marie at home for the first time. We see her with her kids. I think she's getting her kids ready for school. She's making breakfasts, and we see Marcellus. Everybody wants Frosted Flakes for some reason, and Anne-Marie doesn't like that because they're not healthy. She would like them to have pancakes and toast. I mean, just give them the Frosted Flakes. It's easier and it's really not much less healthy, right? Anne-Marie, the 4 kids she has are 3, 4, 7, and 24. So I'm assuming the 24-year-old daughter is Marcellus's from a previous marriage, because she and Marcellus have only been married for 9 years. And also, I don't think she's really old enough to have a 24-year-old. Maybe she is. I don't know how old she is. I can't remember. She, in her confessional, tells us this really romantic story about how her husband Marcellus told her that he knew he was in love with her because she's like an 8.5 at everything. He said, "You're not a 10 in looks." I told you this was romantic. "You're not a 10 as an athlete. You're not a 10 in the brains department. But you are a solid 8.5 at everything you do. And hey, that's not nothing. And Marsalis is a solid asshole." Then Anne-Marie says, "Oh, wait, I think I got a 9.5 on my body." Oh, no. No, that's not good. That is not a cute story. Alrighty, guys, grab some pepper spray and a whistle. We're heading to Erica's neighborhood. She's boiling lemons. There's still an abundance of lemons there. I told you last week, there's the lemons in her backyard are plentiful. And I don't know this for a fact, but I do think the pool water is involved. Anyway, now she's boiling lemons in a pot. I think she's making tea. And she's FaceTiming her mom, Renee. "Mom, remember how in 5th grade I had to do a report on a city and for some reason I chose Las Vegas?" So her mom says, yeah, in a way that makes it very obvious to me that she has no memory of Erica's 5th grade report on Las Vegas. Erica, "Well, Mom, I have signed my contract for my Vegas residency." Renee's like, wow. Yeah, so Erica has booked 20 shows from now till the end of the year, and she is inviting Mom to opening nights. Okay, now it is an hour before the Sutton anniversary party. She's like, in the store fussing around, making some last minute changes. And we get a little montage of everybody else getting ready. Erica and Dorit are both feeling a little Karl Lagerfeld. And Kyle FaceTimes Morgan Wade. Kyle goes, "Guess who my date is for tonight?" And Morgan's like, I don't know. "It's my sister Kim." So Morgan said, "Oh yeah, I've always wanted to meet Kim." I bet you have. Maybe one day, Morgan. All right, so as the ladies are arriving at the store, Dorit tells us that Sutton did give her a heads up. "She told me there'd be about 80 people so that I could mentally prepare." Garcelle gets there, and Garcelle's like, when I first met Sutton, she told me, "I haven't worked in 17 years, and I thought to myself, I got nothing in common with this bitch. And now I love her." And Kyle is just happy that Kim is going to accompany her so that she can show Sutton, "I didn't lose 2 sisters." Yeah. Just one at a time. It's just always one at a time. Don't get that wrong, Sutton. Okay, now, speaking of Kim Richards, I know that Kim is a recovering alcoholic, or however she defines her relationship with alcohol. And I also know that she's a bit quirky. But still, is something up with her tonight? Like, is it a little more than usual? Like, for example, when we first saw them walking in, like they get out of the car and they're walking down the sidewalk arm in arm. And then they kind of miss the entrance to the place because there's like a tent outside, with heaters in it or whatever. So you can't really see the front door. You have to go in like through the tent. So they kind of miss that entrance. And then Kyle's like, "Oh, wait." And she goes to turn around and Kim is still on her arm, and Kim is just like swinging around like a rag doll on her arm. It's as if there are actually no bones in Kim Richards' body. I'm not sure what's happening. Then when they get inside, Sutton is in the middle of a conversation with somebody else, and Kim walks up to her to say hello. It's a little bit awkward the way she interrupts the conversation. And then she just says hello and congratulates her. And then Kyle comes up as well. So now Sutton just introduces the woman she was speaking to, and she just says, "Oh, this is my friend Kimberly Brooks. She is an artist." And Kimberly says hello, and she goes, "Yes, I'm a painter." And Kim said, "So am I." And Kimberly goes, "Oh, no way." "Not so fast, Kimberly." And Kim goes, No, it's a joke. You're not you're an artist. You're a professional artist. I color on the walls." And Kyle's like, "Yeah, she does. She colors on the walls." And then we see Kim's work. Again, it's some of the same things that we saw last week. I don't know if Bravo considers those pieces to be her best work. That's why we're seeing them again. But those koalas look like they would slit your throat in your sleep. I mean, look, I have heard that koalas are actually really mean, even though they're so adorable looking. But, why would you depict that in a mural on the wall of your home? Like something so terrifying. Oh my God, wait. She's not kidding. She really is coloring on the walls. I thought she was just saying that to be cute or whatever, but was, really painting. Oh, no. Her medium is markers. I mean, I guess she just, ordered a pack of markers from Amazon during the pandemic and went to town? Like, is this a cry for help? Why is everyone acting like this is this untapped talent that we didn't know Kim had? I need Kyle's therapist to meet her at Kim's house next time and analyze those walls for me. Anyway, Sutton is just kind of wide-eyed at what's happening right now. This conversation between Kim and her friend who is an actual painter. Next, Sutton gives a brief but pretty awkward speech thanking everyone for coming, but then there's some kind of a little bit of a cryptic message about women putting labels on other women, but that the only kind of labels she likes are the labels on the clothes in her shop. Something like that. I don't know if this was a veiled comment about Kyle labeling her as an alcoholic. I assume so, but it didn't, translate. Dorit's in the back and she just kind of whispers to Erica, "I don't get it." And Erica's like, "Just keep smiling and go with it." Sutton does manage to be a little bit more direct later when she goes to the bar and Kyle and Kim are standing nearby and she says, "Well, I'm going to order my first drink of the evening, if that's okay with you. Gotta check with Mom first." And Kim and Kyle look at each other like they're confused and Kim goes, "Is she calling me Mom? Is it because she doesn't want to drink in front of me because she knows I'm not drinking?" And Kyle's like, "No." So Kyle goes up to her and says, "Obviously you're mad about what I said, but I didn't mean that you had a problem. I just meant that night, the way you were acting, I didn't know if you had just had one drink or if you had 5 drinks or if it was that and your foot medication. I didn't know." Meanwhile, Garcelle, Crystal, and Erica are sitting down and Garcelle asks Erica, "How did you feel at Kyle's party with Denise fucking Richards?" And Erica goes, "I was confused. And I was so high." I slept for 17 hours after that. Imagine if she had taken the recommended dosage from the chef. It would have been like Rip Van Winkle. She would have woken up weeks later not knowing what happened. Okay, back to Kyle and Sutton. Kyle says, "But that I buy jewelry for myself all the time." And then you're like, "Is that a makeup ring?" And Sutton goes, "That was Garcelle. I didn't say that. Garcelle said that based on what everybody was talking about." So Kim goes, "What's being talked about?" Then we get Sutton's confessional. What's being talked about? Let's see. Mauricio's cheating on her. Mauricio moved out. Kyle moved out. Kyle doesn't love him anymore. So Anne-Marie, Garcelle, and Dorit are now in the same area where they're talking. And Kyle says to Garcelle, "Sutton said she never said anything about the ring. That was you that said that." And Garcelle goes, "Yeah, I did." Anne-Marie, "What were you implying?" Garcelle, "That she got a new ring because somebody was covering something up that they did wrong." I love that she's just, here you go. I'm not beating around the bush. I'm the one that thought Mauricio gave you a ring for cheating on you, and I'm here to own it. So Kyle goes, "Why would you guys guess that? Why wouldn't you assume it was like an anniversary gift or a birthday present from Mauricio?" I mean, I bought this one, and I bought this necklace, and she's now has a new ring on her wedding ring finger. Like a third one now. Garcelle, in her confessional, is like, now it's a third ring on her ring finger? Why would you change it up again? It's almost like you want us to notice it. Bingo. That's what I think. Again, they are not together in real life right now. So it does not appear that it was a fake storyline, but I just think Kyle wanted to make sure that it was a storyline. She wanted people to talk about it on the show. I'm not sure why, other than job security, but I don't know. So anyway, like Kyle's going, I bought it. I bought it for myself. I buy all this jewelry for myself. There's no story here. So Garcelle said, but if there was a story, would you own up to it? And Kyle goes, if there was a story, yes, I would own up to it. And Garcelle goes, okay. Now we get these really funny dueling confessionals between Sutton and Garcelle talking about that new ring. They're like reading the information on their phones. Sutton goes, upon my investigation, and she like puts on her reading glasses, we now find a Tiffany T. true ring. Then we cut to Garcelle. It's a Tiffany T. true ring, which celebrates the idea of connection. The screen shows us that it's 18 karat gold, and the price can range from $1,300 to $3,300 or something like that. Back to Sutton's confessional. The strength we find in love, Garcelle. Powerful, passionate, back to Sutton's. And rooted in partnership. It doesn't say that it's a wedding band, though. So back to Garcelle, she's like, so what does that mean, though? Is that about Mo? No, it's not about Mo. Anyway, so now Dorit is explaining that Kyle was just wondering if Sutton had a drink or was drinking or was mixing her pills with drinking. And Kyle goes, no, I didn't say mixing pills and alcohol. I just didn't know if she had taken something for her foot and that was making her act weird. And Sutton's like, you can drink with that medication. It's not affected by alcohol. It's not that kind of medicine. So then Dorit says, Sutton had been talking about your marriage behind your back. And that information came to you by way of somebody else. So Sutton goes, that's funny, Dorit, because you like to talk about me behind my back. And I'm really disappointed in you as a friend. And Dorit's like, okay, let me hear it. And Sutton goes, well, you're going around telling everybody I have a drinking problem. Crystal told me. And Dorit goes, what? Crystal is saying that I'm telling everyone in this group that you have a drinking problem? The only conversation we had was at Kyle's with Crystal when we were all talking about it. So now Sutton's like with that's a dangerous accusation because blah, blah, blah. So Dorit goes off to confront Crystal. And Kyle tells Sutton that she would like to fix things with her, but that denial comment really hurt her. And, I know I'm going to have to deal with that later. Side note, I honestly feel like that denial comment was Sutton trying to be funny. Somebody at the table, where's Kyle? In denial somewhere. I mean, it was snarky, but ultimately, I think like 50% of that comment was just to be funny. But Sutton does apologize for the denial comment. And Kyle's like, and I appreciate that. Sutton tells her that as long as you're honest with me, I can forgive anything. Kyle's like, yeah, I apologize for anything I said that hurt you that night. And then Sutton admits that she was meaner than she ever thought she could be. In her confessional, though, she says, Kyle and I apologize to one another, but do we move forward and run into the lavender fields? No, we're going to have to start anew. All right, so now Dorit has found Crystal. Crystal, why are you going around telling Sutton that I'm talking? And Crystal cuts her off. By going around, you mean telling Sutton? Why are you telling Sutton that I'm going around? She cuts her off again. I didn't say you were going around. I said you told me. Dorit, did you say it was me and Kyle? And Crystal goes, yes. Then Bravo shows us that Dorit is going on and on and on. And time is passing. And Dorit is still talking. Crystal's like, I'm bored. So now all the ladies come over and they're sitting together on these couches. And Crystal makes it clear now that everybody's within earshot here that she told Sutton that it was both Dorit and Kyle that was talking about Sutton having 1 or 5 drinks or mixing it with medication. So Anne-Marie, that's her cue. She turns to Sutton and she goes, you have neuropathy? And Sutton goes, Anne-Marie, okay, so you're probably taking gabapentin, Sutton. Yes. Yeah, also, weren't you standing right there the night of Kyle's party when Sutton said, I take gabapentin? Yeah, you were. So I don't like that she's acting like she knows this because she's in the medical field. I mean, she might, But also, Sutton told everybody she's taking gabapentin. That's why I told you guys that's the same thing we give my dog. Anyway, Anne Marie said, so I just overheard you a little while ago say that you were taking gabapentin and alcohol and that you could mix those two. Sutton, yes, Anne Marie, but you can't. Sutton, my doctor said yes, Anne Marie, but you can't. Sutton, well, my doctor said I can. And Anne Marie goes, well, I mean, you can do whatever you want, but they're technically not supposed to be taken together. I mean, she's probably right about that. I don't know, but this back and forth is cracking me up. So Sutton goes, well, I take it at night before I go to bed anyway. Erica, I take a lot of things I shouldn't take when I'm drinking, but I did it anyway. Garcelle, yeah, we know. We lived it. So then this I don't like because Sutton is like sitting on Anne Marie's left and then on her right is Kyle. And now they're turned and they're whispering something. And it definitely sounds like Kyle is prompting Anne Marie to bring up the esophagus thing. Because this is like, we were just talking about the foot medication. But anyway, ultimately Kyle's the one that says something about her esophagus thing. And Sutton goes, oh, I have a narrowing of the esophagus. I don't take anything for that. And Anne Marie goes, I mean, this is so out of left field, but as far as I understand, and I only do anesthesia, so, what do I know? But a narrow esophagus is a symptom of something else. It's not a medical diagnosis. Like, I mean, if you have a stricture in your esophagus, you just chew your food more. If you really had a problem, you'd go get treatment. You don't eat food. Your reason for that is that you have a narrow esophagus. And Sutton goes, hang on, I do eat food. Anne Marie, I didn't say you didn't. Okay, well, like you literally just said she didn't, but she means it wasn't me that, came up with that. She was just repeating what Kyle had said before. But you did literally just say it. And Sutton goes, you're not my doctor. Anne Marie, I get that, but, and then Sutton goes, don't yell at me. Okay, maybe it's because I'm loud, but that was not yelling. Nobody was yelling at anyone. I think the whole line of questioning was out of line and none of Anne Marie's business. And a little bit of her, doing Kyle's dirty work for her or something. I did not like the whole line of questioning, but there was no yelling. I'm just saying, there was no yelling. Anne Marie goes, I don't mean to yell. It was just that, and Sutton cuts her off and goes, what? Why am I having a doctor's appointment right now? Yeah, good question. Now, Kim, God bless her, Kim Richards, who isn't paying attention to any of this, is sitting on now the other side of Kyle, and she leans over and whispers to Kyle, I think Sutton needs a little work here. And I brought my markers. Oh, no. I thought she was talking about the subject at hand, her esophagus. No, Kim was just daydreaming and looking around at walls that probably looked a little too bare to her. You know what the store Sutton needs? Some poorly drawn jungle animals. Anyway, Sutton asks Anne Marie if she needs her health insurance card. And Anne Marie just goes, no, look, but this is something that you need to get treatment for. And Sutton goes, no, my brother gets his esophagus stretched and I choose not to. So Anne Marie's like, okay. Sutton, shall we go get my esophagus stretched together as a group? Erica, I say just go give a blowjob and it'll stretch it out. Oh, she's funny. She is kind of funny in her confessional, though, because she goes, I just solved the mystery. She has a small esophagus. Clearly, she's not giving blowjobs. Therefore, no second date. It's not the cat sweater. It's not the kooky behavior. It's the small esophagus. Sutton's like, are we all good, doctor? And Anne Marie goes, yeah, that was so condescending, right? I don't know if anybody agreed with her, but yeah, maybe it was condescending. But is it not condescending to be questioning a grown woman about her own medical treatment? Like as if she can't deal with her own health issues with her own doctor? I thought that was very condescending. I thought the whole approach of Anne-Marie coming at her as someone in the medical field. She's like, I guess she's like a nurse and anesthesiologist or something. I can't remember what she said, but listen, more power to you. I love nurses. I think on the whole, they do 10 times more work than doctors do. But for me anyway, if you were coming at this in good faith, like, you had just met someone and you were very curious about this health issue that had been brought up. And so you wanted to learn more about it. And, if you had come at it in good faith, I think I would have felt a lot differently. But you came at it like you were going to call her out for making something up. For what reason she would make that up, I don't know. Maybe you thought she had an eating disorder, and rather than explain why she's not eating around other people, she would make up that she had this disorder. But even if that were the case, how was it your job to confront her in this way, this very public way? Anne-Marie ends just by telling Sutton that what you're saying doesn't medically make sense. So, okay. Thanks. Anyway, that thankfully ends, and everybody toasts Sutton, congratulating her for 4 years in business. Sutton said, I feel really on my own, like, especially now that Christian's moving to London, I just really feel I'm scared. And Erica tells her that it is scary when you start living your life on your own for real, but that's when you will blossom. Which I thought was actually kind of sweet of Erica to say that. Especially to Sutton. And Sutton just ends with saying that she's starting to not feel like a housewife, but just like a woman, a successful woman, and she is proud of herself. So, yeah. Good for her. And that is where this episode ended. That is going to be my last recap for 2023. I'll be back in January where I will pick up the next episode. Just again, wishing all of you guys a very happy, healthy holiday season. Again, I know I keep harping on this, but I feel like women especially around this time, they really stretch themselves thin, trying to do everything and make everybody else happy around them, that whether you have a large family around you for the holidays or whether you are all alone, remember to carve out a little bit of time for self-care and just, spend a minute doing what you love. All right, if you liked this recap, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. And clicking on the bell icon will alert you every time I have a new video post here. If you're still doing some last minute shopping, I'm an Amazon associate. Please go through one of my links in the description box below before you make any purchases. I appreciate that. And that is it. I love you guys. I will see you in 2024. Bye.